Welcome to Endurance Dad, the podcast for anyone striving to break their limits. I'm Dr. Domingo Molina, a dad, husband, and endurance athlete who went from struggling to jog a mile to crossing the Ironman finish line. Here, we dive into training, mindset, nutrition, and the relentless pursuit of growth. Because the toughest step isn't the last one, it's the first. Whether you're gearing up for your first race or pushing toward an ultra, you're in the right place. Let's get after it.
Well, thanks for joining the show, man. I've been following you a little bit on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I started looking at your profile, and you've been interacting a little bit through comments and stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this guy's running in front of a police cruiser and running 30 miles. And
Yeah, buddy.
I was like, I got to hear, I looked through some of your reels and I was like, man, I need to know this guy's story.
Yeah.
And so I reached out, and so he gave me a little bit of history from party king to endurance runner,
Yes.
health scare that flipped the switch, and then basically finding purpose and self-care, and now giving back to
The community, absolutely.
wounded warriors. So
Absolutely.
so I'm looking forward to, hearing your raw and real story of transformation, and hopefully, my goal for this podcast has been to, inspire listeners, and you never know who you're inspiring, right? Even though somebody may not comment on a post on Instagram or,
Somebody's always listening. Man.
Yeah, somebody's listening, and,
Always listening.
people have told me that, people have said, hey, you're inspiring me to, get back to running, or, whatever it may be. So tell me a little bit about where you started. You were a nightclub owner then, or?
Oh, yeah. First of all, thank you for putting me on the podcast, man. And second of all, I love all your content as well, because, it's very inspiring. And, guys like us out there running and taking health serious is just trying to spread that love, But my story's been pretty, what an adventure. What an adventure, man. Well, I was in the nightclub business for a very long time, man. Owned several nightclubs and, having a blast, making a lot of money, living the dream in my 20s, my 30s, and my early 40s. Man, I was just throwing concerts and promoting events and just really just knee deep in that nightlife, man. And,
You're from Houston, or where are you from?
I'm originally from the East Coast, from New York City originally,
Okay.
by way of South Florida, but I've been living in Houston for like 25 years, man. This is home. I love it. One of the best cities in the world.
So I'm actually from Texas. I lived in Galveston, and
G-Town.
yeah, I'm actually from Brownsville. So
There you go. Where you guys located now?
So I'm in Ohio. I got lost
Nice.
over here, and
Nice. It be like that sometimes. I got lost over here in Texas and never went back to the East. You know what I mean? It be like that sometimes, man.
yeah,
But it was it's been one heck of a journey, man. And I'm trying to find a good place to start. It's like this. Look, man, too much of anything in excess is not good for you. You know what I mean? And everybody gets that switch that hits to really, okay, is this what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of my life, or I gotta make a change? And when you start hearing that voice saying to yourself, like, I can't keep going like this, you gotta start making some change. And I think for me was when I had that health scare with that little mini stroke from the high blood pressure situation, kind of woke me up. I started thinking, man, I got a son to raise, and I got a lot of goals I'm trying to accomplish, and I'm not trying to keep doing this. I mean, as fun as it is, and a lot of money being made, this just, physically and mentally, I can't keep up. It's running me down, and I think I always been in the gym, man. I've always liked exercising, but when I was in that industry, I definitely fell off the wagon, fell off the wagon for a long time, and 2 ex-wives and my son's mom. Don't get married when you're on nightclubs.
yeah.
But I know we all get along. Everybody's good, thank God. But I could say this to you is that it has been such a journey, and I'm still going. And the transitioning was wonderful because, I was going through 3 packs of cigarettes a day, a whole bottle of Jameson and Crown, and still standing and operating and running a 10,000 square feet club. You know what I mean? So it was like, but you're destroying yourself. You're destroying yourself every day. And I was fortunate to get a grip and
So describe that life. Well, I mean, you start what in the afternoon? I imagine you stay up all night. I mean,
oh man, I can give you a glimpse of it. See, you take care of whatever outside the club you take care of first. At least I did. With the household, the kids, whatever I had to take care of, I took care of that first. And then by the time I get to the club at like 12 noon, I'm locked in. I'm doing inventory with the staff. I'm making sure everything's operating right. But you know how my day starts? It's not breakfast. It starts with a double Crown with a splash of Sprite and a long cigar. That's breakfast. And but I'm running around. I'm running around and doing so many things that it doesn't even affect me, but it does affect me. You get what I'm saying? And
just push through it.
Yeah, while I'm doing all that, man, I'm still having a good time though. Listening to music, partying, seeing the customers come in. Making it happen and doing what I do for a living. But then before you realize it, it's like 17 hours later. You're not leaving there till 3 o'clock in the morning and doing it all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was definitely excess, man. And I just think running saved my life, man. I could say that running saved my life in so many ways. And
so when did it start to creep up on you? You said you kind of gained some weight and then.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For 5 years, my weight was fluctuating, but I was just unhealthy and out of shape. But I could honestly say I got to my biggest at like 305. And at 305, I was like, bro, when your knees hurt when you're standing up, and I'm 6 foot tall. So yeah, I might have been carrying the weight, but I still felt that obesity in my knees, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could say I marked it actually. November 1st of 2023 is when I completely said, I'm done. And how I remember, because Halloween, I was still doing my thing in the industry, and Halloween came around. It was close to the end of October, and that's when that mini stroke, that scare happened. So I'm carrying around this 300 pounds of weight. I'm still doing what I do in my industry. I'm still chain smoking. When I'm chain smoking 3 packs a day, I'm still drinking excessively. And one day I was with one of my guys and I said, hey man, I don't feel too good. My shoulder's hurting me a lot. And he was like, man, that sounds like a stroke or a heart attack. I said, well, you know what? We ain't going to find out. Rush me to the ER. And when they rushed me to the ER, they told me, yeah, you on your way to a mini stroke. It's a funny word they said. I'm not a doctor, but it was basically like a mini stroke that you were having something, but the impact wasn't right away, and, it was just one of them things where that was the life check for me, man. That was a life check for me. Cause you start thinking, damn, I could have been on my way out, not even knowing I'm on my way out. What can I do different? So that the 1st of 2023 is when I got back in the gym I just started training. I cold turkey though. I did it cold turkey. For anybody that's a smoker or addicted to alcohol or anything, get help, first of all. But second of all, it's such a hard thing to let go. It's really a mental thing. And thank God I got through it mentally, because I cold turkeyed it, man. I cold turkeyed it. I didn't drink or smoke going on almost 2 years now. It's actually, let me be precise about this, MD. It's a year and 5 months. A year and 5 months. And I haven't touched it, don't even want to touch it, don't even want to go to a bar. That's how much I despise it, but I did a whole transition, man, of cleansing, working out every day, running every day.
So how'd you get out of the industry?
The last club that I had crashed and burned, I went through about 8 clubs. And I can say I have more W's, more wins than losses, but the club business, the rough business, if you've never been in it. Yeah. And the last one, I crashed and burned, man. I just lost a club. It was just we can't curse on this, right? So
yeah, you doesn't matter.
Okay. It was a shit show, man. The last one was a shit show. And
Do you think that was part of the drinking and smoking and just?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the drinking and the smoking and not being as responsible as I should, just getting out of hand and just, you know what I mean? Just really losing control of the entire situation, and also affected me on the business end too, to where I lost probably one of the biggest money making clubs that I had, and just, being around in the wrong environment and surround yourselves around, not everybody that has the right intentions for you. And I take responsibility too. I wasn't doing a lot of things I was supposed to be doing on my side. And I know it's because of that blur, that smoky blur, I call it. It's like, you're not thinking clearly. You know what I'm saying? You're not making the right decisions, and you're not doing things that you're supposed to be doing on a righteous level, man. And I crashed and burned. Believe it or not, I did a documentary about it, man. It's on Amazon Prime, man.
What's it called?
It's called Rowe Road to the Riches, man. It's on Amazon Prime. It's been out for about, I think, going on 4 years, maybe 3-4 years. And It talks about me trying to save my last club before it crashed and burned. I tried to promote it and went city to city and did everything to try to keep the doors open, and I crashed and burned. But guess what? It was a blessing in disguise, because it actually got a 5-star rating and moved some numbers, man. So it worked, you know what I mean? But it's it's a journey that I definitely know God has a plan for me, and it's a journey that I believe I had to go through, and still going through it, to really recognize what direction to go, and running saved my life, man. This running thing the endorphins from that, and just the whole thing of running is what really cleared my head to a lot of things. Of course, beating all the habits that I had, man. I never did none of the crazy stuff, though. Only drinking and smoking, and just excessively,
How'd you get into the running? Like, what was the jump back into after 305 pounds? And
I wanted to lose weight, and I didn't want to, I'm not a big diet person. And I just got, what? I was just not happy with my size, man. And I knew this much. I knew if you start doing some cardio, you're a big boy, you're gonna start shredding some weight real quick,
Yeah.
And it's funny because I started walking at first, man. I was speed walking at first, and I did it every day, Domingo. Speed walking. Then I was like, okay. After the second month, I was like, let me try running. So I was going slow, and this was treadmill work too. I didn't even do the outdoor work. This is just indoor work. And I started running at like 3 mpHs, pretty much speed walking again. And it was painful. It was definitely painful, because I'm doing, my personality is so extreme, man, that it's like when I stopped drinking and smoking, and I'm going through that withdrawal, 30 days, 60 days of that. Then I'm like, okay, I need to lose weight. So then I went on a treadmill, started speed walking and doing all those things. And then, but it's mind over matter. I was so determined to lose this weight. And once I kept on, by the 3rd month, I'm running at like 6.0. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm building a resistance, a tolerance for running. And I got so addicted to it by the 4th month, 5th month, I was doing sick things on the treadmill, man. I was running like 15 miles. I think on one of the special machines they got at the gym I go to, I did 24 miles.
Yeah.
I'm just running, man. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't even touch the weights yet. This was just strictly cardio for the first 4, 5, 6 months.
So did they tell you couldn't work out when you went to the hospital, or did they?
Nah, what they told me is I'd have to change my diet. I'd have to stop. I was honest with them. I told them I drink a lot and I smoke a lot. I said, you have to stop. You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to die.
So they encouraged you to work out then?
Yes. And then they said, get back in the gym and start working out. That was the key thing that then I'll never forget. The nurse told me, is like, you need to exercise. This little Latino lady told me, you need to exercise, son. You're too young to be this big. But it definitely, it was an eye opener, dude. It woke me up, man. I was like, I got to leave this life alone. Never look back, man. I left it alone. I was done.
How old are you now?
I'm 46.
Yeah, see, I'm 42, and
Yeah.
yeah, I started, back and forth doing triathlons 2014, because I was almost 300 pounds too. And
Nice.
I started biking because I tried to run down the block and couldn't do it, man. It was too hard. So,
The
I know.
biking is what eventually got you into the running. So you did
Yeah.
that cardio first to get into the running side of it.
Well, I had to lose
Yeah.
some weight so the running wouldn't hurt,
Yeah. So you did it smart. You shredded on the bike work, and
Well,
then
I was still always big. I did an Ironman and I was still probably 220, 230, and so because at that point, I didn't know anything about diet really. I was like, oh, I went out, ran 13 miles. Let's go eat a pizza, and I'd eat the whole pizza, And so I wasn't really losing any weight. I was in shape, but I was still heavy. And so it wasn't until recently I'm 190 now, and
nice.
really honing my diet, low carb, as much as I can.
Man.
And
Low carbon, huh?
I try, man. I don't know if you saw my story on Saturday. I was almost passed out on the treadmill. And so Saturday I had a cheat day, ate whatever I wanted, and Sunday I had a good run, did 14 miles. So yep, you know how it is. You have to walk that fine line between low carb, getting carbs for endurance training.
Correct.
Because people say you can't choose both, right? You can't be an endurance athlete and lose weight. But I disagree. You just got to push through it sometimes,
And I agree with what you just said. It's different strokes for different folks, man. Like, a lot of guys, because I include a lot of weightlifting in my training.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did the 12 miles for the first run for the Wounded Warriors Project, I could have kept on going, but I was just testing the waters. You know what I'm saying? Outdoors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I was like, okay, I could have kept on going. So that means my cardio is good, my endurance is good, and the weights was cool. But then I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep lifting weights because I got a few friends that do marathons, Ironman, stuff like that. So I like to pick people's brain. I got a guy that he works out at the gym I work out at, and he's done 112 marathons. Man, this guy's a monster. Looks great too. He's like 70.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling him what I was doing, and he was like, "That's great, man." He's like, you guys, you don't want to lift too much weight. Not him, but some other guys were saying like, you don't want to lift too much weight, so get too muscular. It's gonna be too heavy on you. And I was hearing it. I was like, but I have my own sauce to it. And like I said, I always say it's different strokes, different folks. Some people are more lean runners, and some people are more stockier runners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's helped me. I started lifting weights, and not like you're lifting weights, but I'll do kind of body weight based, kind of more boot camp style classes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just enough to hit through some of those plateaus that people always get,
Dude, let me tell you, when I did the 30 miles, I was good the first 20 miles. I'm rolling. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you ever been to Texas. A lot of the highways they're real flat, but then they got some hills like
Mm-hmm.
where's just a lot of hills. You know what I'm saying? And the area I was at was Chapel Hill, so it was a lot of hills. And the wind factor was like 85% or something. It was just a high wind factor basis that particular day. Murphy's Law, right? I choose the day where the wind's blowing really high, right? And with the hills.
Well, there's nothing to block the wind in Texas.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And when I was coasting in the first 20, but then when I started going up the hills and stuff, I was, I'm in my head, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have to run the hills. I'm here now, right? Man, I cut through those hills like it was nothing. And I'm saying that proudly because, they were saying the wind factors. There were just so many different things I'm hearing from people. I didn't care, man. I'm doing this, right? And I think the key factor to cut through those winds was because I lifted weights.
Yeah.
Because I lifted weights to really push through that you understand, and not feel affected from it. You know what I mean? So I always say it's different strokes for different folks, man. Like just styles make fights, Yeah, everybody's body's different. How tall are you? You mind me asking?
5'10".
Yeah, so we're similar in height, so you get it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm more of a stockier endurance person. I'm definitely not the, typical runner.
Like the lean, and that's the stereotype. And I think I think in modern time now, 2025, and there's so many hybrid athletes that you can't even call it anymore. It's really grit, man. It comes down to grit. It really comes down to like how strong and you are mentally to push through that pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it's the best thing you could do. To me, the best thing you could do is learn how to run if you don't know how to run, and then stick to it, because it's probably one of the best exercises for you as a human being on this planet. And I also think that you should still incorporate weightlifting with it. And listen, man, I got friends, military, former veterans still active in the military. And then, I see other vets and stuff. And these guys have, amputees with the metal legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're running 26 miles, man.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
no break. So it's like,
Well, see, that's what's crazy to me, and that's why that was my main premise of starting this podcast was, man, there's so many people that are just sitting on the couch that, you don't realize the privilege we have of running until you can't run anymore,
fact.
I had
Fact.
surgery a few weeks ago, and man, those 3 days off, I had a kidney stone, and
Mhm.
just taking those days off, man, I was like, man, what if, not that I couldn't run because of that, but I was just thinking, like, what if you had an injury or something happened that you just couldn't run anymore, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, they take it for granted, man. They take it for granted. If you're fully functionable physically, you definitely should start running or try to run or speed walk or ride a bike or do something mobile that your body gets some cardiovascular. You get what I'm saying? Because there's people out there. I see this other thing, dude. I don't know. I was just trolling on Instagram with a guy that he had no hip, but they put like some accessories on him, and he was riding one of those speed bikes, like one of those Tour of France type bikes. You get what I'm saying? 10 speed. So it's just it always comes down to state of mind, man, and grit and how bad you want it, and everybody finds their outlet to really like help them therapeutically. I know I found mine in running, man, and especially endurance running. It's not endurance running to me is even different from a sprint. It's different from a jog. It's different from a marathon, like a regular marathon. When you're doing 30 and up and them numbers,
It's all mental,
it's all mental, dude. It turns into a whole mental game, man. And
See, some people don't even realize, but man, I'll run in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. It's quiet, dark.
dedicated.
I'll just sit there, captions on the TV, no sound, just staring at it, no music. And, because I don't know, it's something calming and peaceful about it,
Yeah. That's your therapy, man. That's your therapy. What's trippy is that when I'm on the treadmill, I wear headphones, right? Like I did what, 13 miles yesterday on the treadmill, because I started GI Joe training for the 100-mile thing and on the first, but we'll talk about that later. But when I'm outside, I don't like headphones. I don't like I just want to hear everything. It's so trippy. Like inside because I guess you're like a hamster, right? You're on the treadmill, you're just one way, one dimensional. But outdoors, you're seeing everything in the elements of nature. You know what I mean? So I don't like having headphones. I'm with you on that or any of those things, man. What do you do for outdoors? You do like trails or you do road running?
I do road running mostly. I just recently signed up. So we got a lot of similar stories, man. I Thanksgiving, November 23rd, I was almost 240 pounds. And this past like 5 months ago, and my pants were like folding over when I was sitting down. I was like, man, I need to get back to working out. And I'd gone back and forth. My wife's always working out. So I was like, I'm very goal oriented, and I think people with addictive personalities, they either got to go hard or don't go at all. So
yes,
I said,
goal driven. I'm with you on that, man. We're connected in that, buddy, for real.
I said, okay, I've got to sign up for a half marathon, because I'm not going to start working out if I don't sign up for it. Because I'm along the line. If you start talking about shit, you've got to back it up. And so,
right.
So I signed up for the half marathon, started running, and surprisingly, I got a lot of my running memory back. I thought it was going to take me a while, and I started running real well. And I was like, man, I'm going to sign up for a half Ironman again. So I signed up for a half Ironman August, and then I'm like, okay, found another one in Michigan, September. I'm like, all right. So then we went on vacation. I started reading a book by Dean Karnazes, and there's just something about his story, man. He would just take off in the middle of the night and go run. He'd have a pizza dude follow. He'd run 30 miles in the middle of the night and then go to work the next day. And, so I was like, man, I wonder what it's like to run an ultra marathon. And so I started looking for one. I found a 50K in California that I'm going to run in June.
Nice.
And
I love it.
Just started training for it, man, and so now
I love it.
That's been my main goal. And because it was, and I don't discount anybody training for a 5K or 10K, but to me at that point, I was like, I don't want to just train for a half marathon. I want to train for something that not many other people do.
Fully loaded. Let's go.
I was like, because I want to do something that not everybody does,
Yes. Something that's not norm, man. It's your norm, but not the next person's norm. You know what I mean? But
you didn't even, when you ran the 30 mile, you didn't even run a race. Did you? You just went out and ran, didn't you?
No, I did. I did it and just ran. But I ran for a cause. I called up Wounded Warriors, and we put everything together as far as like the donations going directly to the link to help the veterans.
But you just took off one day and started running.
That's it, man. And I had police escort. I had to, take care of all that stuff, and then get everything cleared up to do it. And I just started running, man. And I put it on my live. I ran with my live on for like 4 or 5 hours. And I'm running, telling people, make sure you donate to the Wounded Warriors while I'm on the middle of the highway. You see and stuff, but it worked, And
so what about the 100 miles?
$1,000. Oh, 100 miles.
Are you gonna? Is it a race or you're just gonna run?
I said I was gonna do 3 volumes. There's Run to Redemption 1, Run to Redemption 2. That was 12 miles. Run to Redemption 2, that was 30 miles. Well, now the third volume, the third one, Run to Redemption 3 is 100 miles.
Not even 50 miles. You're skipping straight to 100.
Yeah, let's get straight to it, man. You know what I mean? Let's get straight to it. And the reason why I'm saying that, and that was the deal breaker for me, Domingo, was when I did the 30. I was like, okay. When I go back in the garage, I call the gym the garage. When I go back in the garage, I know the do's and the don'ts. I know what worked and what didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? The main thing worked. The main thing was doing it and completing it nonstop. That was the main goal. But I learned a lot about the weakness that I had, the flaw, the dent in the shield was nutrition.
What'd you use?
Man, I was drinking Gatorades the whole run, and I usually eat, when I do long runs, I usually eat 3 bananas.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they just work. 3 bananas. I mean, I can go do 15 or 20. I won't eat anything else but 3 bananas. And by the time I'm done, I still feel good, right? Because, I guess the potassium or whatever's in there. But let me tell you, I didn't eat anything. I just ran with no bananas. And when I got to 28 miles, man, my legs started feeling a little loopy.
Yeah.
The lactate acid and all that kind of stuff. My legs started like they were about to give out when I got to 28. And I know it's because I didn't eat I didn't eat the bananas or eat anything at that point.
Yeah.
So I said, it was the last 2 miles was the mental part of this. I don't care what anybody said. That 2 miles is the longest 2 miles of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I said, man, I came all this way. I'm at, and they were keeping me up to speed. How many miles? They were like, you got 2 more miles up. I was like, yeah, but I'm starting to feel my legs. So thank God I had
Was it a lot of pressure, the guy driving behind you, to keep on going, or?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. None of that mattered. I was in such a zone None of that mattered. I didn't care who was around me. People were waving and beeping the horns on the highway. I was so locked in, dude. I didn't care. And you know what? Remember, we do it with no headphones, guys like
Yeah,
this. So I'm running, I'm hearing everything, but I'm so focused and I'm counting. I just kept on saying to myself, keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm the best. Keep going. I'm the best.
did anybody run with you?
Solo dolo. I just had a pacer van full of people that could provide me like, the drinks I need, or and sometimes the pacer van would if I needed, like, they need to throw me like something to eat, something to drink, or even just to keep me in loop, like they were holding the phone and the camera to film everything. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I had the cops behind. I had one police officer behind me, and I had another police officer in the front of the pacer van. So we had two officers, one in the front, the pacer van, me, and then another officer. So we had like a train. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we basically, the feeder road out here. I don't know if they call it feeder roads out there, but the feeder road is like the side road of the highway.
Frontage road, man. That's what they call in Texas.
Yeah, you already know. So it ran out. So when that road ran out, it was all highway after that. And Murphy's Law, it was a Saturday. They had road construction. There was back-to-back traffic. I couldn't make this up, man. 85% wind factor. It was great. So I'm like, all right, this is what you signed up for. And I was coasting, dude. I keep telling when I'm telling the story to a lot of people, I'm coasting. The first 20, I'm coasting. 25, I'm still good. I'm feeling good. 28, I started feeling a little fatigued because I knew I didn't eat anything. And, it's only so much Gatorade you could drink. You know the drill, man.
Yeah.
And well, they gave me a carbohydrate drink that I had in there in a bottle and a small piece of banana. I remember I had that. And then when they were like, you got 1 mile left, I just started going as hard as I can, going hard as I can. And then, I completed it. I saw the land, when you see the landmark, it's different when you don't see it. When you don't see it, you're just running. But when you see it, you're like, I'm almost there. You get what I'm saying? And I got to the finish line, thank God, and finished it, bro. And it was just the valuable lesson I learned was nutrition. Like the day before, I was carbon. I was eating pasta, rice, and potato. I was carbon. The day before that, same thing. Because I trained all the way up to like the run was the 15th. When it got to I stopped training completely, everything on the 12th. Yeah. So I took those 3 days to just sleep, eat, and rest. And then on the 15th, we got busy. Great experience, man. I mean, you're a runner, so you get it. It's one of them me versus me things. You get what I'm saying? And
how did that take you to Wounded Warriors?
Well,
why that cause? Like, what?
Oh, that's a wonderful question, by the way. So when I first did it, when I'm going through my transition day, I'm like, okay, God bless me. I made it this far. I'm changing my bad habits. I'm doing everything the best way I can positively. I want to give back some way in the community. And I started thinking of, different foundations and just but I always want to do for something that I believe in. Some people do things and each his own. It's great when you just do it regardless to raise money and to help somebody. I always believe in that. But for me, it was something that I believe in and something that I wanted to do and something that I'm familiar with because I have friends that served. You know what I'm saying? I have friends that came back from war that's not stable anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Like I've been around the experience of that. So it was like, I thought, Wounded Warriors would be one of the great organizations to run for and raise money. And I did my due diligence and my logistics. I contacted the headquarters. They put me to the main lady and we put it all together and boom, that was the cause I wanted to run for because I believed in it,
Right.
So, I people are in the, our veterans, I always say this, like, we're able to wake up and go run freely and do the things we do while somebody's in another country representing our country, protecting us and doing what they need to do to serve for us to make sure that we could do the things that we do. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes when they get back, it's funny because the lady was explaining to me, like, the money you raise, you don't even know, like, it pays for classes, for therapy, for PTSD. It pays for all these different things for the veterans that need it. You know what I mean? And she's like, so what you're doing is we're so grateful, and it was just a genuine thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it. You know, I'm gonna keep raising as much as I can, and also I'll be the workhorse. I don't mind because you know everybody's getting something out of it. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's getting something.
I got my Navy. I was in the Navy. I got my Navy.
Oh man! First and foremost, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say.
Thanks.
First and foremost, that's awesome, man. And then second and foremost, you're still actively working, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you get the link. You know, everybody got their different things that they support, but I love our veterans, man. I appreciate that. You know what I mean?
And so, what are you looking forward to raising for the 100 miles? What's your goal?
Well, I did close to 1,000 on this last run, and you know, I have this, you know, this big personality and an overly ambitious attitude, and I want to raise $10,000 for these guys. You understand? That's the goal, you know.
You had a few sponsors, all right? I saw some shirts with
yes, a lot of local sponsors.
I may need to get in on that. We'll have to talk off.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And a lot of local sponsors supported, man. They love the idea. They love the cause. It was just great, man. It was great. The community supported what I was doing. Now we're working on getting some local media, some news media to cover this 100 miles because it's such, you know, I'm running literally to Austin.
Well, that's why I wanted to get your story out, man. I was like, I figure, you know, you got a good story, man, and we can get you more than $1,000.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm all about it. It's going for a good cause directly to WWP. You know what I mean?
I think you need some people running with you, man. You know, that's
I'm game. You know, I'm so game for that. I'm so game for that. And then go like
people they just have, you know, 5 miles, 3 miles. They don't have to run the whole thing. You know?
Whatever they could do. And I think the more participation, the better. If the word gets out, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. But you know, you and I both know it's like not everybody's dedicated to running, man. Like, you know, it takes a runner to go do a run. I got like 2 guys now that I know that really wants to be in the next one. And they're like, you know, we'll aim for the 100 with you, but we'll do as much as we can till we tap out. Like, that's all good for me, you know?
Yeah. How long do you think it's going to take you? Have you done the math?
21 hours.
Yeah. So I was looking at 100 because they have 100 in Hawaii, hotter than hell, or I forget what they call it.
Yeah, that one's serious. I heard.
Yeah, elevation serious. And
that's like different. Forget hill country. That's like altitude. You're flying.
Well, I looked at the time, and I don't know why I didn't think it was going to take so long, but I was like, man, that's almost a full day of running.
Mm-hmm. It took me 5.5 hours for the 30.
Well, so I did 14 on Sunday on the treadmill, and I was like, man, shit, I would still have 19 more miles to go to finish my ultra marathon. I was like,
yeah, but don't you know what, Domingo, don't even think about it like that. And I say that to say this because you don't think about the time when you're doing it. When you're literally there on that pavement road running, you're not thinking about the time. All you think about is your breathing. And you know, I'm open about my strategy, what worked for me. It might not work for the next person, but say something, hypnotize yourself. Say something to you like, keep going. If you got to say, I must have said, keep going, I'm the best, probably 5,000 times.
Yeah.
But it was occupying my mind so I didn't get scatterbrained. Because what a lot of people don't understand, when you're running long distance and you start scatterbrained, you know, like you start thinking of different things, that's when you start breaking down and losing focus on what you're doing. And that run, you start thinking so much to where you start breaking down to where you'll stop. But if you just keep saying something, at least for me, that keeps repeating in your head, and something that's, you know, motivational to keep hypnotizing yourself, you're not focusing on anything but that. And you just, before you knew, because I didn't even look forward. You know, like I was following the pacer, man. So maybe like every 10 miles or every 7 miles, I might have looked up just to make sure everything around me was secure, but I was just looking downwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a horse with, you know, those race horses with the, you know, they wear the blinders, you know what I mean? So
sometimes you just got to zone in.
Yeah, man. you're gonna crush that 30 though. You're gonna crush it, and when you crush it, it's a different ballgame. You're gonna be like, yo, all right, I gotta step the ante up. What's that guy's name, man? This guy's like a world record guy. Alex, like a Lithuanian or something. It's Alex Sullivan, Alexander Sullivan or something like that. Anyways, this guy's doing like, I think he's like a world record for like 200 miles, and he's doing sick numbers. But
Yeah. Speaking of records, I follow this guy, Truett Haynes. I don't know if you've heard of him. He did he holds Guinness Book of World Records, pull-ups, 10,001 pull-ups, 24 hours.
Woo.
And so I was watching him the other day on Instagram, and he ran the Austin Marathon. This was about a month ago.
Mhm.
And I thought the dude photoshopped himself in the video because he's running in blue jeans, and he's running next to this, international runner. She's running, she's about ready to win the race. And he's running right next to her. And the announcer's like, yeah, so-and-so is about ready to pass this guy in blue jeans.
Whoa.
And sure enough, he was being sponsored by his blue jean company. He ran the entire marathon. He was 20th in the entire marathon. He was running 7-minute miles in blue jeans.
Oh,
and
God, that's rough.
Then he posted his Garmin data. His heart rate was like 140 the whole time.
Killing it, steady. Yeah, steady, killing it. Yeah, some people are just different animals, man. Gosh, blue jeans, what a feeling. Afterwards,
they ran him raw though. He took videos and he was just bleeding all through the front of his thighs.
Oh my gosh, I'm about to say that's rough.
I don't think I'd be. It was good advertising though. It makes you want to buy the jeans,
Great promo, man. But I'll pass on that one. That's serious, man. Even when you got on compressions and all those other stuff in there, man, you still kind of feel a little. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But it's not as bad as some blue jeans. I guarantee that.
But see, so that's part of the problem that I've been running in Ohio and it's been winter, snowing, and
I got some friends in Cleveland.
So I've done most of my runs on a treadmill, so it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment getting back to the pavement. And
what kind of shoes you running?
So I'm using the On Cloud Monsters. They're pretty cushiony. I'll be honest, man. I would just buy Brooks and run in whatever. As long as they felt good. I'm a big tech guy. Like I've got the Garmin watch, but shoes. I know some people are big into their shoes. And I probably need to get a little bit bigger into them, learn all the different types. But, I've been in Brooks, mostly Brooks, Glycerins, Brooks Ghost. And then recently I tried the On Clouds. But what are you running?
Asics, man. Asics.
Yeah, I've used Asics in a day.
The marathon Asics, dog. I got it on right now. What is it called? It's the gel Incubus or something like that, or Nimbus,
yeah.
Nimbus, yeah. Those work for me. Those work for me, man. I tell you why, because this is my second pair. I did the first ones I ran the 12s on, and I got some other pairs, so they work for me, man.
I've already got 400 miles on these, so I probably need to, and that's only since January, so I need
those mileage coming quick too. You don't even realize it, man. These shoes get wore out real quick, man, especially on that road running. You know what I mean?
Some people are rotating 4 or 5 pairs though. I haven't done that.
And and I'm telling anybody, you want to get you want to get some real marathon shoes. Beware, you're going to be looking at anywhere between $170 to $300 for some really good pairs. And make sure you get a size bigger. I learned all this the hard way. You get a size bigger than your original size, and get some compression socks. Okay, I first started doing it. I'm like, I'm just wearing my regular size, and I'm going to wear like Air Maxes. Let me tell you, I'm talking about blisters, toenails falling off, everything you could think of. I went through the mud with that, man, and that was enough for me to be like, you know what? All right, they got Feet Fleet out there.
No, man,
they got a Feet. There's a store out here called Feet Fleet.
I'm in Springfield, Ohio, man. Nobody runs over here.
Yeah. You guys hibernate. It's cold over there, man.
We got Dick. We just got Academy. A lot of people don't.
Dick's got the Asics I use. They carry the Asics that I use. The Dick's sporting goods. They're pretty good. I try to, but you know this. You got to go through like certain kind of shoes to see which one's a great fit. I went through about 5 pairs to really see before I discovered the Asics is what worked for me. I tried like the Nike what are they called? The ones that the Kenyans are running in. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. So I just saw Nike came out with a new Air. I think it was Air Max D&D or I have to look them up, but they came out with some new ones. I try to steer away from those bigger brands.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, man. I first just like a deer in headlights. I tried the bigger brands like those, and it didn't work for me. You know, it might work for somebody else, but it didn't work for me, man. The Asics worked for me, and the New Balances worked for me.
Yeah.
You know? But the thicky bottoms, I always call the spongy bottoms, where you're walking on air.
Yep.
Man, dude, but the 100 miles is gonna be I already started doing some light training. Right now I'm doing a lot of indoor training for it.
So when is it? What date is it?
It'll be September 20th, 2025, man. Be a Saturday, 6 months from now.
So Houston, Austin, or?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. All right, so it'll be it's 103 on the GPS, but you know, I'm doing 100. As soon as I see it, welcome to Austin, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? But
it'll be a little bit hot, right? Texas still, I mean, Texas is hot all year round, really.
Yeah, it's 85% of the time. I'll say even 90% times hot all this. So, but it'll be hot. It'll be hot. It'll be cool hot. Not as like scorching like the summer, but it'll still be hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And gonna have fun, man. That's what I say. At the end of the day, you gotta love it. You gotta enjoy it. You know what I mean? Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. So you gotta definitely love it. A lot of people, when it starts to become like it's a task, that's when it's no fun. You know what I mean, Domingo?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story with me, man.
Man, it's love, man. I appreciate you having me, man. And this is wonderful. I'm glad to always conversate with another runner that especially got similar stories, you know what I mean? And,
well, I wanted to get your story out a little bit, man. You know, I'll put this on YouTube and put it on my website. You can share it.
Send me a copy of the recording so I can post it as well on my platform and get it out there with your podcast and stuff like that. Spread the word, you know?
I'll throw up your link and you know, try to get some donations for you.
Oh man.
You know,
I appreciate it, champ.
Life throws you curveballs, man, but you know, you've made the change, and
yes,
you know, self-care is real, you know, running on discipline, and it's not even motivation. You know, that's been kind of my theme over the last few weeks. It's discipline shows up when motivation doesn't, you know. And
yeah, you could be motivated, you could be inspired, but none of that matters if you ain't disciplined. Period. And then another thing I always say this is, you know, stop worrying about what other people are doing. Do what you feel works for you, because when you find your lane, there ain't no traffic. You know what I mean?
Yep, it's true.
And everybody wants to try to keep up with what this person's doing, that person's doing. Nah, man, don't worry about that, man. Worry about you. Worry about what works for you and maximize to the best of your ability of it. I mean, I'm talking about just consume it, and especially when it's positive and you're doing something positive and you're taking care of yourself and it's self-care and you're making yourself a better person, you're making the world a better person, giving back to the community, whatever it is, just focus on you, man, and just do right, you know?
Yeah. Well, I invite anybody that's listening to, you know, reach out to us if they've had a similar story, they feel inspired, you know.
Absolutely.
Support the Wounded Warriors.
Yes, Endurance Dad. Support the Endurance Dad podcast. Support the Wounded Warriors Project, you know.
So how can people reach out to you if they want to donate or sponsor?
What they can do is they can go to @SEANROWE_SR. That's my Instagram page. You can go on that, and then you can hit the link on the top, and it goes directly to the Wounded Warriors Project. They wanted to support and donate to the veterans. And it also keeps you updated on everything, my training and stuff I do for these long runs, and keeps you posted on the next 100-mile run I got coming up.
All right, brother. Well, good luck, man. We'll talk soon.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Love, man. Pleasure talking with you, man. We'll
You
be in
too.
touch.
All
All
right.
right, brother. Later.